telling y'all, some of the toughest guys in prison be gay. Now, let me say this. I'm not coming against anybody that's gay. I'm not saying anything against that, but I'm talking about some of the guys that be in prison. Look, one day when I was in Jackson prison, and I was new, I'd never been to prison before, right? So I'm in prison. I'm walking back to my cell after I've gone through what they call quarantine, where you're in your cell for 23 hours a day. So I spent about 2 months in quarantine, pretty much solitary confinement, right? So one day I'm walking, back to my cell, and I look in my cell before I get there, and there's a piece of candy on my bed. I think it was a Snickers or something like that. So, and I'm like, oh, that was real nice of somebody to, give me a Snickers. And I was about to go in there, and I was about to eat that Snickers, and I don't know where this guy came from, and he was like, bro, do not eat that candy. I was like, why? He said, don't you know in prison they put candy on your bed letting you know that they like you, that they want to get with you? If you eat that candy, you saying that you belong to somebody. And I was like, what? See, I didn't know none of this stuff when I got in prison. And I remember one other time in prison. In prison, when you're in there, every so often they have to do a head count to make sure that nobody's escaped from prison, right? So they're doing a head count at this one time, right? And so they're looking for these two guys, and they're missing. So they're thinking that somebody tried to escape, right? So alarms go off, blah, blah, blah. They end up finding, it was this real little guy and this real big guy. They end up finding these guys inside the bathroom stall, and this big guy got this guy off the ground up against the wall, just wearing him out sexually. This is what you see every day. Just one more story. Another friend of mine, man, this was one of the toughest guys in prison. He came from behind the wall. He had just did 10 years behind the wall. Guy was buffed up, man, been down for a long time. And I looked at this dude. I kind of looked up to him, man, because he was hard as a mug. So one day I come upstairs, man. I'm walking up the steps going back to my cell, and there's a little area behind the cell. Here this brother go behind the cell back there wearing this other brother out. And for me at this point, it is like, man, y'all just cut. My thing was, when I went to prison, my first thing was, you ain't getting none of this, but if you're going to get some of this behind, there's going to be some dead cold behind, but you will not touch this.